Welcome to another Soccer Down Here 1v1. Time to catch up with Leigh Cowlishaw, friend of the show, the Richmond Kickers, Director of Soccer. Leigh, thanks for hanging out with us for a 1v1.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Okay, on the show a couple days ago, Jason and I were talking about how grassroots efforts were taking hold in communities, and we had mentioned Greenville and what Marco Carrizales and Greenville FC are doing with their academy. And also we mentioned on the show the relationship now that the Richmond Kickers have with Little Kicks. I guess for those not intimately familiar with the Little Kicks program and the relationship with the Kickers before it all ended up where it was earlier this week, what does Little Kicks mean to the soccer community of Richmond?
So just to give you a little bit of background, in 2010, I was approached by one of my players, Luke Vertoloni, who was interested in starting essentially a daycare school center focused program. At that time, I think we were in USL 2 at the time. It was very much still a 5-6 month season with the pro guys. We were very much focused with our pro guys being involved in every aspect of youth programming in the community. So it seemed an absolute no-brainer and great idea to kickstart that. So anyone who knows Luke, he's an absolute energy on the field and off the field. He's a fantastic entrepreneur. He soon got up and running. We even, for the first couple of years, if you can believe this, back in the day, we would actually tailor our practice times so the professional players could go in and actually work within the Little Kicks program. So we did a licensing agreement. They utilized the brand right from the beginning, and through Luke's energy with a lot of pro players in the early years. And then when Amy McKenzie, our current director, came on board, it was a phenomenal success. It's an easy and fun way to introduce soccer to kids from 2 to 5, and it's been steamrolling ever since.
So when you see a player of yours be a part of this program outside of Luke and knowing what his level of engagement is and pedal down 100 miles an hour all in all the time, but when you see a player who isn't Luke come in and be a part of it and you see the light come on about the impact that they can make doing something in Little Kicks, what did that mean to you specifically and to what was going on?
Well, clearly over time it's evolved where now we have specific coaches for the program. It's no longer a case. You've seen the professionalism of USL and the whole of professional soccer in this country. That's just not reality anymore. And the pro club and the youth club have evolved in those areas. In the early days, it's just a game with any. And the reason why we would put our pro players in front of the youth community, there was always a very strong connection. It's positive role models. It's the ability to mentor the youth players and the next generation. And it was always a good fit from the beginning with us, even back in the early 1990s when we started our camp program. You just saw a really strong connection. It was always really well received. And that was one of the main reasons why we wanted to build what we always called a hybrid program of a traditional youth club along with a professional organization. So it was more of a international professional club mixed in with that traditional American youth club, and that's what we created over time, and we're really proud of what we've done, and Little Kicks to bring that back in-house completely. I'm really excited about it because there's so much we can do with that program now. It's an entry-level program for the kids. It introduces soccer, but it also introduces the Kickers brand, not only to the youth club, but also to the pro team.
And, when you're talking about 2 through 5, I know that as young players and young kids get older and older and older these days, you have parents who want to read entirely too much into it, kind of invest a little too over the top. What are some of the lessons that you kind of remind parents of for kids who are in Little Kicks about really just enjoying the sport, enjoying the game, and learning more about it at this early age, which will carry them forward in loving the game from that age of 5 once they exit the program?
Yeah, again, it's certainly not learning the intricacies of soccer. Clearly, anyone who's been involved with coaching, educating 2 to 5-year-olds, it's much more about movement. We talk about coordination, confidence, and character, and certainly just having as much fun as possible. Certainly, the soccer ball is involved, but they're not playing 2v2 or 3v3 soccer games. It's just introducing them to the soccer ball and introducing them how they can, move with the ball, with and without the ball. So, absolutely, it's a starter program. It's a lot of fun. It's certainly not meant to be producing the next Pulisic, Landon Donovan. That's not what it's all about. It's just giving kids the opportunity to have a healthy lifestyle, and it's a great start.
For those who've never been to Richmond, to see a Kickers match, to see how the Kickers have become a part of the fabric of really the soccer here in the Southeast, what has soccer and what have the Kickers meant to Richmond in the time that you've been there, and how has it grown?
So Richmond is very much a soccer town. You see it from the ratings when the Premier League games are on, when men's and women's national team matches are on. There can times be in the top 10 for per capita for TV ratings. I'm a big believer that along the way, when the pro team started back in '93, when Bobby Lennon and Cookie Ketchum, the original owners, had the vision and foresight to establish a pro team when it was, remember, not popular at all, and it took a lot of hard work and a lot of selling to get people behind it. Over time, you'll see in the Richmond Kickers and the city of Richmond, there are so many individuals today who are involved in soccer, have their beginnings with the professional team. The vast majority of the Kickers technical staff, numerous technical staff at other local clubs, all have played for the Richmond Kickers. So that resource, in my opinion, has been massive, that it's been able to give back. And you've got individuals throughout the city who are massive proponents of the sport, proponents of the pro team, and just love playing, coaching, talking soccer.
So then my last question for you, and thanks for hanging out with us here for a 1v1. How would you like to see, I guess this is the crystal ball question, how would you like to see Little Kicks continue to grow and evolve over the next handful of years? Are there things on a sheet of paper that's tucked into a drawer in a desk somewhere where you'd like to see, well, we'd like to see A, B, C, D, and E when it comes to the program? Or what are some of the markers that you want to see Little Kicks have going forward?
It's a great question, and just starting with the establishing Little Kicks. What I would say to you is that Little Kicks would be the same as how we view all our programming within the entire club, and for us, it's about providing quality sports experience, and with that always comes the coach. The coach can make an enormous impact. So it's making sure that we have quality mentors, coaches in the Little Kicks program. It's always about customer service, the communication that the club provides to the families, to the kids, to give them positive feedback, to allow them to continue to grow as individuals, both as families and as soccer players. And it's really, the final piece for me is just the methodology. It's having fun. It's trying to be as game realistic as possible. At that age, that's not going to happen as much. It's more about, as I said, the movement and coordination. But those are always the integral parts for us. So out of all those right now for Little Kicks, I would absolutely say it's the mentor. It's the person who goes out into the school center, who interacts with the child. That's the first contact, and that's the ability to really inspire, motivate, and have them fall in love with the soccer ball.
Well, Leigh, congratulations once again on the big announcement when it comes to Little Kicks and the Richmond Kickers. And obviously, we're keeping an eye on you when it comes to stuff on the pitch as well. Thanks for being a part of Soccer Down here as always, and thanks for hanging out for a 1v1.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you.